to your garden, I eat from your tree, I step in your river, and it takes me deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing on Don't cry no more, my dear. Don't you cry no more. I'll be waiting here, my dear. I'll be at your door. Do you hear me knocking? Do you hear my drum to draw you from your fortress?
2, 1.
In the shadow.
There we go. We're
I was
live.
gonna say, y'all might as well
just keep
harmonize
singing
on
the
the way
song.
in.
In the trouble. But anyway, we're live.
Rebel.
Right. I messed it up. Shout out to everybody watching. What's up? We are live. And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff going on right now. There's so much going on. So much stuff happened over the weekend, last week, since we've been live. So just buckle up. You're watching Young Lion TV.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
Yes, sir. We're live. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What's up, Mom? Charlene is checking in, saying hi. Pop Trusty in the building watching.
Oh, what up, Pop?
Said he's checking in
What's
the
up,
show.
Pop?
Yeah, boy. I remember playing spades with him.
Talk so much trash.
Love it.
Shout out to Pop Trusty. Yo, if you're watching right now, please hit that like button for us. Hit them hearts and just keep hitting them. And hit that share button because we need to let the algorithm, pick up what's going on here. We're getting shadow banned all across the board. If you're watching on YouTube right now, hit the notification bell, hit the share button, and hit the like button.
They don't like us talking about these jabs.
No, you can't talk about the jabs.
Yeah, you
I like us talking about the
Jibber jabbers.
the boxing jabs.
Speaking of boxing,
Yeah. But before we get into all of that, let me just do all the maintenance real quick. So share the video. Also, if you want to become a Patreon member, if you're watching and you want to support what we do, you can go to patreon.com/youngliontv, and that's the YouTube. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Patreon, you can sign up. Shout out to Wilmer, who became a new Patreon member last week. We appreciate that, brother, for becoming a Young Lion officially. And yeah, you can sign up for any tier you want. You can support the cause. Everything that you guys support goes back into what we're doing, bringing more content. We're going to have more exclusive content on the Patreon as well that won't be on here, especially like certain topics that we can't talk about on Facebook and YouTube because they ban everything. We can talk about those things on Patreon. So just, sign up on there. And also, if you want to... Go ahead.
let us know, like, if you guys are Patreon, let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, you can write us on there. You can message us, and you can just DM us on Instagram, Facebook, any of those. We always check all that stuff. If you want to subscribe on YouTube, there it is right there. You can subscribe and, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Other than that, we got Moan with me. Kyle pointed out that he's never seen you wear a white shirt before.
I wear white all the time, though. That's weird.
I've never seen
White, black, and gray.
You're not around enough, Kyle.
Yeah. And we got James sitting in on the throne this evening,
back here.
Mr. Bill Wright.
Lean back.
Mr. Bill Wright has been super busy building it right. So
Getting it done.
how's the business world been going for you?
Great, man.
Now that everything is like kind of starting picking back up.
In the trades, it's awesome.
Yeah.
The trades is awesome, man. It's booming. I mean,
Like you guys need workers, right?
oh yeah. I mean, everybody needs workers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's a major shortage in the skilled trade.
Yeah.
I think most of the guys on average are probably like in their like 56, 60.
Wow.
And so usually I'm probably one of the youngest, There's one younger guy I know. He's like around 32 and he has his own business.
Wow.
He does well. But yeah, it's wide open, man.
So there's a lot of people just like roaming Home Depot parking lots. Like, all right, anybody?
You riding around with the creepy van.
Anybody want
I
to
don't know
put
if
up?
you want to do that.
Anybody want to put up?
No,
some
we're turning
drywall?
away customers. We're telling people like we can't. You know, usually when people call, they've already thought of what they wanted, so they want it right now.
Yeah.
You know, and now that the season is they want the house or their kitchen or bathroom done before Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah.
We can't keep that kind of deadline because we try to tell people like, listen, you know, you have to allow for at least what if something goes wrong, if there's rotted wood or something like that. So we tell them like, listen, you know,
Unforeseen circumstances.
circumstances, you know, so.
Yeah, and that's the tough part about like trying to give people estimates. People always want estimates; they want to hold you to it, right?
Yeah.
And they want it done now.
Right.
Yeah, they want it done now. But I think we, you know, maybe hopefully there's going to be some emphasis on the trades.
Yeah.
We'll see, you know.
Yeah, I remember like when we used to do sessions in the studio, people would always be like, "Well, how long do you think I need?" And it's like, there's no way for me to know that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Depends on
it
your
depends on how
performance.
prepared you are. It depends on how many, you know, how much work needs to be done. It depends on like you can't.
Yeah, and people don't like to tell you their budget.
Right.
Because they don't want to tell you what they have to spend because they think you're going to tell them that.
They just want to get the lowest price.
They just want to get the
possible.
lowest price.
Yeah.
They want to see where you come in.
Yeah. But shout out to James. And if you guys are looking for someone that can do some amazing work on your house, you can check him out, Mr. Build Right. But you guys, aren't you changing that?
Yeah, we're going to change it to Build Right, not Mr.
Okay.
So same thing, just a new partner.
Just Build Right.
Yeah.
Hit him
You
up
keeping the
next
same
year.
logo? Or?
Yeah, hit me up next year. Yeah, same logo.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get rid of my Simone Chang logo.
You know what I'm saying?
Free 99 right there.
I forgot I did that.
Sure you did.
Right. He brings it
That's
up.
why I brought it up.
Same logo.
Same logo, though. right? Same logo, right?
I was going to
You ain't-
ask him if he needed another one.
After you.
I know you go with that.
Same logo.
Let's keep the intros going, though. We got Stan with us.
Oh, what up?
Rocking the Jatan merch. And also, if you want to get you the Jatan merch, you can hit us up on our website, jatan.com. And we have all the music and merch on there as well. And we got Jake with us, of course.
Hey.
Adidas down.
Yeah.
Top head to toe Adidas, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I just came from
Just came from soccer. Okay, cool. And then on the production tip, we got John and Kyle sitting in.
What up?
Thank you, guys. We were just talking before the podcast. Kyle stole a version of How Bad You Want It before he left last time, and he was listening to it.
Wow. We're going to stop letting you in this office.
I stole it.
So,
thieving.
so you were telling me a story about you were playing it in the car for
Oh, yeah.
one of the guys that knows us.
Right. So one of the producers of my podcast studio, Kevin, he was the video operator for the episode of Tri Jam that you guys came to and you performed over at the old school that we do the show from.
When we did By the River with an acoustic guitar.
Right.
And
then-
Who Am I?
And Who
very,
Am I, yeah.
very folky and acoustic like music. Yeah.
Right. So he has that image of
Right,
you.
Of course.
And so we had finished setting up for a session earlier in the day, and we were going to the diner for lunch before the crew came in to do their podcast. And he's like, hey, we were in my car. I was like, you want to hear something interesting? He's like, yeah, what? He's like, all right, here's this CD, and it's How Bad You Want It with the five guy lineup of Jatan on there. I was like, remember Jatan? He's like, yeah. Listen to this. I hit the play button.
What was the first song you played?
It was the first track.
Okay.
What was the first track called?
Let Me In.
Let me in.
Let Me In.
Yes.
Let me in.
And one of the first things that we both noticed, and to be honest with you, that was the first time me hearing it too. So
Right.
we were listening to it for the first time together, and I didn't realize how much talking Jamie actually did on various tracks.
Girl,
What's up, baby girl?
girl, you know, there's just so many things I want to say to you right now. It's like, oh, that's stupid. Yeah, exactly.
It was funny because it was track one was like that, and then I think track two was like that,
And then track three, I think I talked on that one as well. Yeah. Nonsense, bro.
I don't know if this was a book on tape or it's an album. And so
We got Lena on here. She knows all about
Yeah,
that.
Lena knows all about that
I
album.
come knocking.
so
She said if I come knocking.
So I'm playing him the CD, and it's like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he had not heard Beautiful Eyes yet. So I was like, okay. So now compare it to this, and I played him Beautiful Eyes, and he said, this is a fantastic song, but
Yeah.
completely different
Right.
from that CD. And actually, to be honest, completely different from what he had heard in the studio.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like there is an ever-rotating, evolving sound from Jeton
Yeah.
as time progresses.
It's kind of our gift and our curse, if you will. It's like, every time we come out with something new, people get used to one sound, and then they're like, well, what is this now? Like,
There
now
was
we-
I forget what song it was, but there was a song that it was like a bunch of kind of thing.
That's how bad you want it,
That's
right?
how
That's how bad you want?
it.
Okay. And he was like, wow. He was like, wow, this is so 2002.
That's when it came out.
That's when it. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
exactly when it was out. Right. So I was telling Kyle, like, because he was saying, like, I didn't think it was. You guys talk about how cringy it is, and he was saying, like, I didn't think for an R&B album, like that genre of music, it didn't sound like it was off or terrible or like, cringy in that way. And I was saying it's more about like us knowing what we were trying to be and portraying and hearing that on the record and knowing that like we were caught up under that idea of like you have to be this type of R&B group. That's what we cringe at. Right. It's like first of all, the lyrics are terrible too, but and the writing is stuff that like
Now you tell us.
and the writing was very amateurish. I can honestly say that.
But you guys were like 22 and 23.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. But
Yeah, I mean, with no help whatsoever.
yeah, we were doing everything
You're not-
ourselves. And he was saying that too, like the mixes sounded good and all that. But I'm like thinking back, like, yo,
Yeah.
we had no help. We were doing everything ourselves.
I remember them harmonies on that.
Yeah. Woo.
Like
Yeah.
just the mixes on
Yeah.
there. But again, you were learning.
Yeah.
We were learning. We
Right.
were learning how to record. We were learning,
Right.
all those things.
Yeah, and every step of the way, it was like we picked up more and more and more. I remember when we did How Bad You Want, it was the first time we recorded harmonies isolated. Like it's been a long time. We used to do them all in the same, around one mic, which was the total wrong way to do it.
Right.
But, we didn't know any better. We were just learning on our own. But yeah, that was a interesting story. So I figured I'd bring that up. What else were we talking about before? Oh, the boxing match. We were
Boxing
talking
match.
about that a little bit.
Good fight.
Yeah,
I
it
did
was-
not see it.
Great fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Overall,
so
good fight.
Tyson Fury,
yeah.
Deontay Wilder,
Round 2.
Heavyweights.
yeah, heavyweights, and we were mentioning how Tyson Fury was like talking about all this Jesus stuff, but then he came out. His entrance was like some weird
300 theme.
300 thing.
we find it?
We can find it. I'll look for it. But yeah, it
I
was
wanna see
it was very weird.
While you're doing that, Lena said, "I remember Love Changes Things before everything changed." Ironically, it's funny because Love Changes Things was our shift. That was
Yeah.
like the album where we were shifting into what we do.
Find My Way was on that.
Yeah, the song "Love Changes
Love
Things."
Changes
Yeah,
Things.
and that was a campaign.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
changes things.
right. We did that campaign video. We had all our fans from all over
Yeah.
the world
Yeah.
sending videos saying,
Who said you?
I-
You sent that probably like
Didn't I
what
send,
was like,
I said that
5
to
months
y'all.
ago.
Yeah, a while ago. I forgot. And there were so many. The video ended up being so long because we had so many people sending videos, and then we had to leave some out.
Yeah.
And it was hard to decide like
Right.
who made the cut and who didn't. But so many people sent in videos, so we just like put it out. This was like MySpace days, right? I think we put it out on MySpace. We're like, send us a video of you saying, "I believe love changes things," who you are, where you're from, and then "I believe love changes things." And we got so many videos, and we just put them all together in a compilation. What are you laughing at, Kyle?
Still laughing at my friend's reaction in the car to this. Yeah. But no, Love Changes Things. That was around that time where I met you.
Yes,
You guys.
Yep.
Yeah, you were pushing that CD, promoting that CD, and I remember right off the bat being just completely impressed with that material. And
Yeah, because we had Go Slow on that. We had Let Me In on that. We had your song, your favorite song, Yes.
Yes.
Well, your favorite song from that album,
Yes.
which you have just recorded, and we worked on a cover of it.
yes,
Sounds really good.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Ariana said, "Hey guys, my favorite album."
Hey, Ariana. I'm trying to find it, man.
It's not important. I just wanted to.
Yeah. Anyway, it was like 300 themed,
Yeah.
but there was a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
300 is weird.
showmanship.
But what were we going to talk about when we were like, oh, just save it for the podcast? We were
It was
talking
that, and it was Deontay Wilder.
Special.
about special.
The comedy special.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
Dave
yeah.
Dave Chappelle. Yeah.
No, it was Wilder was. Somebody said it came.
Yeah, I don't think we were going to talk about that though. I think, right, what you said.
Yeah, I don't remember, but we were just going to mention it. But it was a good fight.
It was a good fight. Good fight.
Probably one of the better heavyweight fights.
I was just
yeah.
They both wanted it. There was some
Yeah.
bad blood between them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
What do you feel about it?
Was it a knockout?
it was.
Yeah.
a
It was knockout. Yeah.
What round?
11th round
11th
knockout.
round, yeah.
What do you feel about Deontay not being a sportsman though after the fact and not wanting to?
I mean, of course,
Exchange
it's not a good look, but
Yeah.
I think they were so emotionally invested in it.
Right.
Tyson actually didn't want to. This was a court mandate fight. It's the first.
That's
court,
right, because Tyson was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua, right?
Yeah. And he didn't want to fight Deontay. So, a lot of allegations about cheating from Deontay about Tyson.
That's right. That's right.
And then I got to give Deontay
And then he made the excuse that the ridiculous outfit he wore.
outfit. There was a ton of excuses.
Wore
Yeah,
his
yeah.
his
but
legs.
I can tell you,
heavy.
he is 100% warrior.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He has a
the
heart
way
of a
he
lion,
the
yeah.
way he stayed in there, because I thought he was going to
He
be
wanted
out of
it.
there before.
He wanted it. And I think somebody made a point about it. Like combat sports is so emotional
Yeah.
that he's given everything to Tyson, and this man just embarrassed him.
Yeah.
And he's already emotionally invested. He's like, I'm not gonna give to you anything else. And to him at that moment, shaking his hand,
Right.
that's his way of being like, I'm not giving you. Now I don't think it's the right thing.
Yeah.
But
Tyson's response was, "I'm gonna pray for him and hope that God softens his heart."
Yeah.
But it showed one thing though. For me, I think, because Tyson doesn't look conditioned
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
But-
you look at him, you would think, "Oh, that guy."
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Tyson
Yeah.
has been doing this since he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
Deontay picked it up when he was 19. He had a
Right.
child. He wanted to make some money. His story is actually interesting. He used to drive he used to drive a beer truck, and he picked it up at 19, wanting to help his child with spina bifida. And he went, and he was a natural specimen.
Right.
If you look at him,
Yeah, he's 6'7",
Yeah.
what was he, 240 at the fight?
yeah.
6'7".
Yeah.
And these guys, I mean,
And Tyson was towering over him.
6'9".
6'9".
270 on fight night, 290.
Yeah, 290 on fight night.
Dang.
6'9".
Yeah.
Yeah, these are big guys. These are beyond like Holyfield. Holyfield was 6'2".
Yeah.
Tyson was 5'10", 5'11".
Right.
But it was good. I mean, to see them want and not play safe, because for me, I'm a combat sports fan.
Yeah.
I think the Mayweather effect. And don't get me wrong, Mayweather is awesome, but he wanted to keep that that he never really in his later years. He just boxed smart. He didn't
He
really
boxed
go
more.
after
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean?
He didn't want to take any
He
chances.
because he wanted to beat Rocky Marciano.
Yeah, he wanted to keep that record.
Kyle Tiggett
That's day one.
said it was an awful fight.
It was an awful fight.
Yeah,
Kyle, you's a hater.
That's why you need to come on here.
You's a
You need to
hater,
prove your
dude.
point.
What?
Because I
Explain
don't
to us
agree.
how it was an awful
Definitely
fight.
wasn't awful.
Like the only thing
You
I
know
was,
why he's awful? Because a lot of black kids
Yeah,
are salty.
look, I will tell you that because Dylan was
was pissed.
super salty because it's like
The racial
people
element.
turn it into
Yeah.
like we can't watch a black dude get beat up by a white guy. Like it's just we can't
Yeah.
accept it.
I'm a
Like,
fan of combat. So to
Right.
me, it's like it don't matter.
Right. But it did. I'll tell you what it displayed how brutal that sport is, man.
It is.
Because it's like you're watching these dudes, both of them, get concussed and have to keep fighting for another. Like, because Tyson,
They were concussed.
dude,
15
if you see the way Tyson went down in the
Yeah.
fifth round or whatever, he got knocked.
He
out.
knocked him down in the third. He knocked down Deontay twice in the third. The fourth, Deontay knocks
him down twice.
Yeah. Deontay has a right hand, but
Yeah.
he just couldn't. No combination.
Yeah, and I never watched the first fight, and so then I finally like saw that knockdown. Oh my god, he looked like he killed him.
Yeah.
I know when he saw Tyson get up off that mat, he was probably like,
You should see there's a close up of his face, and he's just like, because he was celebrating.
Yo, because the way he knocked him down,
Yeah.
anybody else that fight, that dude's still laying there.
Deontay, from what I hear, they're saying that he is the hardest puncher
In boxing history. Right.
That one punch power is because he's 6'7", he's lanky, and Emmanuel Storo said it's the long, wiry dudes that have the most. They can generate the most power. You know, and he's that's a basketball player,
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but it was exciting. It was good to see. I enjoyed it.
What did he say?
He said Fury leaned on him to fatigue Deontay.
Hey, that's game
I
plan.
said-
man.
That's part of the strategy, though.
Yeah,
The ref has
he
to
was
call
gonna
that.
win.
Yeah.
He said Fury.
He was leaning on him a
was-
little much, but the ref has to control that.
Not only that, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, but
That's a
fight.
part of it.
But
Yeah.
fight him, though. Like,
Yeah.
Punch him. That's what I
Get
was
out
like.
of it.
Punch him in his back.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, he's not in the. If you look at him, he's not in the best of shape, and Wilder looks like he's in shape.
dudes tried to lean on Tyson.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But he just
Punch him.
He would go up top on him. You know.
Yeah, but he said he also said I said Fury he was going to win in the eighth round because Deontay is not a boxer, he's a fighter.
Yeah.
Opinion.
But anyway, so it was just.
I don't know anything.
Well, he separated like the Lennox Lewis is a smart boxer.
Yeah.
A fighter is more like
Mike
the
Tyson?
exciting. Yeah.
Tyson, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 90s was the golden age of real talented guys. This era is
Especially
just
heavyweights.
giants. This era is giants.
Yeah.
These are really big guys. And somebody made an interesting point. They said that, listen, if the NFL and the NBA wasn't as popular, you would have seen all them dudes would have ended up in the heavyweight division. But once football became popular, NFL, basketball, as it did, because you got to remember that the heavyweight championship of the world for a long time was the #1 title.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
But these dudes realize they can make a lot more money and not get their brains beaten. So, yeah.
So
Yeah.
to speak.
Well, so to speak,
Yeah.
because they get in the vein.
I'm talking about basketball.
Yeah.
Football is just as
Yeah,
bad,
football.
if
yeah.
not worse. You know.
Yeah, because it's at least with boxing, it's like maybe you fight 2 or 3 times a year. That's like every other 2 weeks you're
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
2 weeks every week.
Every week you.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Shout out to Paul Horner. Kyle said, "My point is, I'm not a hater. I just know boxing."
oh, we don't. So you don't know boxing, brother. Okay, you don't know boxing. I know boxing. Well, I know boxing, and I know Deontay got beat 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Go sit down somewhere.
So he can't beat Tyson. That's what I know. So I wanted one of the things we were talking about beforehand. I remember now is we were talking about Southwest, our experience, what's going on with Southwest. We were talking about like what's going on with all the job losses right now. Over 4 million people quitting jobs right now,
And calling out. And
Because of
it's a
the
silent protest.
vaccine mandate.
Right. Well, they're speculating that no one will officially say that
Right.
because it's a lot of stuff. That's why I wanted to bring up this article right here. You could pull this up, John, because this is literally the effect of it. Southwest Airlines flight cancellations aren't due to vaccine mandate. What you should know, and this is from CNET, but most of the headlines that you read are coming from this angle. It's not about that. It's about, you know what I mean? But
They say weather.
they they did say weather in a bunch of the articles,
And it was
that's
for the
Southwest
Friday, yeah.
official response for everything.
That was their response for us.
Which is interesting because the last Southwest experience we had was horrible, and then the one prior to that was bad, and
they used to be really good.
and we were just talking about how
I forgot
the
about
things-
that.
Yeah,
I
you
forgot about that first one.
You forgot about that one, right? Because that situation we had. What happened on that one? And now I forget.
Something with the plane.
We were on the runway.
We were on the runway.
We're in the plane.
Right. And then they had a mechanical issue where one of the engines wouldn't fire, and they made us get off the plane and then rebook our tickets for another time, which was
For
going to make
us late.
miss sound check. And then we had to cancel our flights with Southwest, get on an emergency flight on Frontier to fly to Atlanta.
Wow.
And then the very next time we booked with Southwest, we had the whole issue with them canceling our flights. The first excuse they had was a crew issue. And then the next flight they canceled, they said it was because of weather. And then we were looking at all the weather, and there was no weather. So we were just like, yo, this don't make any sense. But if they claim weather, they don't have to refund you any money. So I think that's why they're putting that out in the media now with all of these, like over 2,000, almost 3,000 flights canceled.
There's a time, like if they cancel within a certain time period and put you on another flight, it's okay for them to say it's a crew issue. Yeah. But if it's like last minute, they can't say that. So that's what happened.
It has to be weather. Yeah.
And I guess we were talking, I don't know if we were talking about that on here, because I went and I talked to the guy, and the way he was talking to me was like, yeah, it's
weather.
Before that,
it's just weather.
He was saying,
it's drizzling.
Because when they canceled our flight, right, the very first time, and we're like, yeah, now we got to be here for 10 hours, 12 hours. We got to be here when we were supposed to get home in 4 hours. Yeah, right? 5 hours. So he was like, yeah, he's looking at it. He's like, let me see. It's like, yeah, it was a crew issue, so there's nothing we can do. Yeah. Like, so that's their policy. Right. And like, and it's just funny when you talk to them because they just settle it as that's their policy.
Oh, that's the policy.
And that's all that's all we can do.
Right.
We can't give you nothing.
Right. And that's where...
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's where, like, to me, people, they turn off and... They don't even think like just logically, like
you're talking about workers.
Yeah. They're not thinking like, well, it's kind of not a good policy, right? Or it's not right.
I can understand why you wouldn't be okay with this. Yeah,
it's like the cops in Canada. I mean, that's a whole nother level. Yeah, but how they're like, oh, we're just doing our job.
Yep,
and Australia.
I got a video from Australia. I'm going to show you on a little bit.
We're just doing our job, arresting preachers and pastors who are keeping their doors open. Right. And that's what they go to. Right. Oh, we're just doing our job. Like, you don't have to do that job. You can quit. You know what I mean? You can stand your ground.
Or you can say, we're not going to enforce this.
Like the sheriff in LA County.
Yep.
But when you just, it's when you set your mind to think, I got nothing to do with this, and you take and put responsibility on somebody else, that's what happens. And that's what happened in, I hate to say it, but that's what the stuff that happened in Nazi Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't say that now.
Get close to that. Right. Fire.
Yeah. Gina Carano got fired.
Right. But they can't fire us. So.
Right.
But we were just
shadow ban us.
They already do that. We already in that boat. Yeah. So please share the video. What'd you say, John?
Bringing Gina Carano back.
Oh, they are. They are, dude. They are. So she actually wins in the end.
How?
What I was going to say, though, is that we were talking about how our last experience with them was even bad with the crew members because of their attitudes on the plane.
Yeah.
So you see, like, there's a shift happening now where, like, all these people are, they don't understand it, but something's happening where all these people are calling out of work. Mm-hmm. Right. And now they don't have the staff to facilitate all these flights, so they have to cancel all these flights. But people are so oblivious that they say it's weather, but don't even think that. But all the other airlines are flying perfectly fine. Right. So how could it be weather?
Yeah,
But you see the news media. That's why I pulled up that article. They're covering for it as well because no one wants to even, entertain the idea that it could have something to do with vaccine mandates. No one wants to talk about that because then it just opens the door for that conversation that they don't want to have.
Don't want to have.
Keep thinking the way we're telling you. Everyone loves it. You know what I mean?
Because the conversation, like, it's so basic and it breaks down so easily what they're talking about that they can't have it. Because when you have it, it's like
they have nothing to stand on.
It's so obvious,
Yeah.
And the Pilots Association for Southwest, the union, they're blaming Southwest, so they can't get away from it.
Right.
Like, I don't know how they're going to. They're going to spin it, but I don't know how they're going to spin it. We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, they're going to try to spin it, but people are blaming each other right now, and everyone's pointing fingers. I mean, the CEO came out and made a statement that was nonsensical. I forget what it was, but you can go look it up. But all right, so you were talking about the police in Australia and Canada. So I want to play this video. It was on the Libs of TikTok account. Shout out to them. It's one of my favorite Twitter accounts.
You put some posts on Facebook. Does this look familiar?
Hold on, let's start this over.
Do you agree that you put some posts on Facebook? Does this look familiar?
Illegal as.
Post on Facebook.
Yep.
Did you put this on Facebook?
Yep.
So the question that's been raised is, were you there?
Oh, no comment. Yeah.
Is that yeah? Or
Well,
were you there?
well, does it matter?
Yeah,
You're
well,
handing me
I'm not-
paperwork saying I've
I'm
sent a
not- I'm
photo.
not handing you anything. I'm asking you a question. on
Well,
behalf
you've got the
of-
photo, don't you? So,
that doesn't. You've put a photo on Facebook. Doesn't actually confirm whether you were there or not. So I'm asking. Were you
so
there?
if I say no, you're not going to give me the paperwork. You're going to go home,
There's
mate.
no
or-
paperwork here to give you. This is my
Okay. So
information.
what are we here for? Are you here to serve me,
Okay,
or?
what part didn't? No.
Intimidation. Yeah, I know. It's pretty laughable. It's loserish. It is like sad.
I'm doing
What is this
a job
humanity?
I've
Where are
been
we
asked
going
to
in
do.
life?
I've been
You've got the
asked to
cops
do
coming
job.
around here to tell me that I've been at a protest
No, to ask
6
you if
months
you have
ago.
been. To ask you if you have been.
Yeah,
In
well,
July,
who gives
that's
a
not
fuck?
6
How
months ago.
illegal is that?
Which part?
Going to a protest. Why are you guys here? Why is the
Because
police
you're
on?
So if you can't pick up on what's going on, and if you notice, she said, "I'm just doing my job," like you were saying. So they're going around now. They're checking Facebook, which is not far from what they're talking about doing here with the DOJ, and they're going around. And anyone who is caught at a public gathering, because they're not allowed to go anywhere in Australia, their police are physically showing up at your house and being like, "Is this you? Were you there?" So that then they can either make you quarantine or cite you or something. You know
Send
what I
you
mean?
to camp.
Exactly. They have
Quarantine camp.
them quarantine camps
Yeah,
that
they
they
had
built.
those.
But to your point, it takes the police officers to be okay with doing that type of work. And people say, "Oh, that could never happen here. That could never happen here." But the problem is when you see what's going on now, where like the people that are standing up against this are the ones that are quitting. So who's left?
Right.
It's the ones that are okay with enforcing it.
Right.
That's what you're losing. All the ones that are the ones that would stand up against this because they're like, I can't be a part of this. I'm gonna quit. All that. Think about it with Southwest. Think about all the teachers that are quitting. All of the armed service people that are quitting. They're now getting out of the way for the ones that are okay with being tyrannical. So now that's all you're going to be left with.
Do you think they're okay with it, or you think it's just sometimes people work themselves into a mortgage? They have kids, they have bills, and they don't want to, you know what I mean? Like maybe some of them are in a position where they feel like, I don't want to lose my job. I'll just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Sure, yeah.
but that's that is making yourself okay with it. Like you have to come up with the reasons why I'll do this because that makes you okay with it. It's not like some people do get off on being like, well, I'm the authority.
Yeah,
I get
power
to,
tripping.
But there's others that are like, okay, I have to make myself okay with doing something that I don't even agree with.
I think that's why they preface it by saying, I'm just my job. You know what I mean? I think it's like maybe they're not completely okay with it, but they're afraid of losing something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know?
We got a song out. It's on iTunes. You can check it out, or it's called "Where Do We Go?" And the lyrics are, "Where do we go from here when it all stops making sense? How do we start over again when we've already put so much in?"
Bingo.
And I think that's the key. Like people it's the agreements you make, and you go down this road where you're so in it that you
can't
don't
back
know.
out.
There's no.
back
You can't
out.
say I can't walk away from this now.
Yep.
You know, I'm this close to a promotion. I'm this close to my pension. That everything that I built up in my mind was going to be my future. I can't refigure those things out. So I'll just go along.
Right.
But this is the thing. You can't comply your way out of tyranny. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
The more you agree with it, the more it just ramps up.
I think they know that it's tyrannical, right? But I think they have a vested interest in the reward they're gonna get.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, well, it's kind of like.
But that's foolish though, because it
no, it is. But that's how their mind is working. Like, I'll at least be a pet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, remember the scene with Blade when he's explaining to the guy, he's a familiar, whatever it is, and he's like, well, they won't do anything to me because I'm one of their.
But what happened to him? You know what I'm saying? That's the moral.
That's what they don't see.
That's the moral of that story, is that people don't pick up on that. It's like, no, you are disposable too.
Yeah.
Like, so once we get all of the ones that are fighting back out of the way, you're next.
You're next.
Yeah.
You're next.
Because you're not us.
Yeah.
That's the agreements. Every agreement we make there's a effect, right? We make agreements. That's the cause.
Yeah.
Right? But there's an effect to what happens, and a lot of times we make agreements, and it looks good right now.
Yeah.
But eventually it backfires on us.
It backfires.
And that's like we were talking about, because you just said mind, and as a man thinketh, so is he.
Right.
That's talking about the selfish person, right? And the selfish person, that whole thing in Proverbs 23 is talking about how you make agreements with people.
Right.
Watch the agreements. Yeah, it goes down.
Don't eat at the table of the selfish man.
Right.
So if you're partaking in the mandates of selfishness, eventually that's going to come for you. That's literally what that is. That's eating at that table.
Yeah,
you know
you're
what I mean?
consuming it.
Right.
But it says at the end, you're going to throw it up.
You're going to throw it up.
And by the way, I just want to point something out. This would be different if executives were quitting and walking away.
Right.
But if it's just low-level people, which they feel that they can replace easily, they're not going to really change anything. Because let's say CEOs and executives and police chiefs and people who are in higher power that they need walked away, it would be different.
I think, like in the case of like something like what's going on with Southwest, though, they can't easily replace pilots. That's tough to do. You know what I mean? Because there's so many there's so many things that they have to meet, so many requirements that they have to meet for that job. And then what happens if they can't find pilots? They lose so much money.
Right.
So it can hurt their pockets eventually. So it can make a difference in that way. You know, if they can't facilitate these flights, people are going to go to other airlines.
Right.
2,000 flights.
There's a fear.
Almost 3.
You guys remember the police officer that came out in the beginning of, this was probably about a year and a half ago. He came out and he spoke out against harassing people.
Yeah.
He lost his job.
Yep.
He posted something on Facebook and they were all praising him. And then maybe a day later, the mayor said, take it down. The police chief called him in and said, you got to take this down. Here's what happens, right? Like, everybody loves, that guy's a hero. But no other police department said, hey, come work for us.
Nope.
So I'm saying he's a leper now.
Right.
So what's going to cause somebody to be brave and want to speak out when there's no room for a guy like that who did?
But you know what did happen was a bunch of people put money up to help this guy because it's like, we appreciate your bravery. So there is the element of like, people will back you up. It might not be, maybe the whole system of police forcing is corrupt. Maybe it does need to be defunded in certain ways. You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe he shouldn't get another job at another precinct. You know what I mean?
What I'm saying is, if that existed, where if it was really about true law and order, and they would have said, no, we want a guy like this.
Yep.
So they don't want you, we want you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
But again, it's the same thing. Like, every time I watch a movie, and I know it's a movie, but it's reflective, right? When it's cops, when it's a investigation, it's always about how the department looks, right? It's always about how they are projected to the
higher ups, the
really
media, the community,
the social community, right? That's the point,
right? That's
like,
why they have to have a high
fear.
prosecution rate. That's why if like there's a serial killer on the loose, they like we gotta find someone.
What are you doing?
The public's going crazy.
This is going too long. You need to find somebody.
Right,
See, all of that stuff is toxic, and that's what we need to stop doing. The people who are even like putting pressure on them, like the families, like all this stuff. Like, we need to find. People are afraid, right? We need to find somebody. You know, we're gonna take this into our own hands. All this stuff is toxic. All this stuff breeds a certain kind of outlook on life, right? And it takes those who are, faith is the thing that shifts it. Faith is the thing that shifts it, because the opposite of it is fear. And I think that's what we're learning. In my opinion, and I was talking about this a little earlier, I'm not going to go into it with the 20s, but I believe we're in a shift into greater faith. Right? Where now you're going to start to see the church and what it was meant to be, instead of the lanky, weak church that submits to everything and tries to look
bullied
the part
and pushed around.
Right.
Let me read a couple comments. Lena said, I had a friend tell me he turned down a nice paying position because of vaccine mandates for the job. He said he isn't against vaccines per se, but for himself, he doesn't want to get it nor be forced to get it just to work. It isn't worth it. I think that's how most people feel about it. It's not about the vaccine. It's not about like, oh, I'm anti-vaccine. Vaccines are BS. No, because vaccines are amazing. But it's the fact, it's the forced mandates. Once you start giving that ground to the government, you never get it back.
It's the forced mandates. It's you're putting something in your body that's not been tested,
right?
Not gone through. You are the test,
right?
Now.
Right.
As
we're all the
vaccines.
guinea pigs right now, and we're being forced to be. Is the other thing. Emma said, "Hey guys, what's up, Emma? Shout out to Emma, Patreon member, Young Lion, soccer friend. Also Kyrie Irvin.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. Suspended now.
He's now suspended fully. Like first they were saying no. He's suspended. Period. Yeah, they just changed it today because he wouldn't back down on the mandates. He said he's not getting it. So first they were like he's going to miss all the home games, and he pushed back against that, and so now they're saying he's just suspended until he.
Nana's pissed.
Yeah.
But
that's the Nets.
Yeah.
Where's JC?
But Wiggins, on the other hand, caved to it, and he was even sad about it.
Did
he caved to it. He caved to it, and he was like, I guess, like, he made a statement. He was like, I guess we really don't have rights. I guess, you don't have autonomy over your body as long, if I don't get it, they saying I can't play in the NBA. But he might be in a position where he needs that money, so you can't really judge.
Well, that's all in their mind anyway.
Absolutely.
And there's strength. Strength is mental.
Right.
And our strength, our confidence comes from God. And that's where you got the different, like, there's a different mentality there.
Right. And I think we have to learn more about that.
Yeah. And some people are just, he probably doesn't need the money, but he wants the money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He doesn't think about how hard they work just to get this opportunity,
And they know that.
Yeah. They know that. So they're leveraging that on you.
Yeah. I think, it's sad, but a lot of people probably would, if your career's on the line and they're like, you have to do this, because even like in the entertainment world, if they said you have to, like a lot of people, it's just going to be hard because if that's your livelihood and you've been doing this for a long time, like people are going to weigh it out and be like, oh my God, man, like what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's hard, man.
I understand that. I totally understand that. And listen, that's why they do it.
Yeah.
Because they know that they're going to put you in a position where you're not going to want to say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you have had COVID and recovered.
Right.
They just
they
want
don't,
you
they
to
don't want to
get
look
the
at
shot.
that. Yeah.
And that's it.
That's
not science though.
Right. That's the main thing about it. It's like there's no other you guys heard about Merck with that pill, that new COVID pill treatment first of all, this is a company that makes the shall not be mentioned drug,
right?
That has already been used to treat COVID so many times. So this company makes
and
that
has been proven to work.
Right. They make that already, but now they're introducing a COVID drug,
right?
That is 400 times more money than that.
More expensive.
You know what I mean? But it's like
it cost them $2 to make
right.
Mectin.
Yeah. Right.
It cost them $70 a pill to make the new one.
Yeah.
The antiviral, I forget what it's called.
So it's like you see the games that are being played with the public. You see how they're only pushing certain options for everyone, and how
they're always going to use fear.
Yeah.
To
And
there's plenty of examples of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. So, Joy said, "Hi guys. So why do you think Southwest is having all the issues and not the other airlines?" We were just talking about that. Well, the theory is that a bunch of people are against the mandates. But I was watching Tim Pool. He spoke to a pilot at Southwest, and they were saying that like a lot of these people are just fed up with the working conditions and with how overworked they are, and now they want to implement mandates on them, and now they're putting more restrictions on them. So a lot of people are just like fed up and just calling out.
In general, I think one of the things that, at least from what I'm hearing, about COVID is it forced a lot of people to realize that they're very disposable. I think I'd send it to you guys a few weeks ago where Louis Roseman broke it down and said, listen, when you're disposable at the drop of any economic downturn, any kind of like shifting thing, pandemics, whatever it is, it forces people to realize that maybe the investment you made in a company is probably not worth it long term.
Right.
If they could just fire you.
If they'll fire you on a whim, like why should I invest?
Why should I invest?
Yeah.
And people are starting to realize like maybe I should find something that's more lucrative, that's needed, or whatever it is. And I think
that's why we're seeing a huge worker shortage right now.
I think so.
That's why we just 4 million people quit their jobs. That's why the job numbers are astronomically low. That's why there's a, I don't know if you guys have been hearing about the shortages in like
the jobs report.
No, in just products and goods and like just shipping.
Yeah, even fast food. I mean, they can't keep up.
Everything is, there's shortages everywhere. That's why prices are going up. Inflation is crazy. Like everything is a disaster right now. And I think it has a lot to do with what you're saying. It's like people realize like, why am I going to go back to a job that would that quickly get rid of me? You know, just to save their own butts.
And they told you that you're not essential.
Yeah.
And then the other part of it too is it creates a dynamic between your workers where the people who did stay, now you're offering the people who you did let go, who went away, you're offering them bonuses to come on when they weren't there all along.
Right.
The people who stayed, they're staying at the same rate.
They're like, wait, I've been here the whole time.
So it's creating like dissension, because Ian was telling me about that. Like he has some employees who they were hired at 13, but now they're offering 15. That's a whole $2 more.
Right.
And the people are like, wait, I stayed.
I should get that.
I should get that.
Right.
But you're basically bringing on people who, whatever.
Yeah.
And it created this like thing. So now they're on their way out,
Yeah. I mean,
when you make money, you make agreement. When you make investment, you make an agreement. That's sacrifice. And I think we don't even look at that. Like sacrifice is about agreement. It's covenant, right? So you're going into even like you're giving up of yourself.
Yeah.
Going into something. And a lot of times you're like, I got to get a job. Well, that's it. But we don't even think in that way. Like, where's our faith in that?
Right.
I'm doing this and make an agreement in this so I can get this. Right? But there's more to that. Like, how much are we trusting in God? Where's our agreement with God?
Yeah.
Not to say nobody should have jobs.
Right. Of course.
But what I am saying is, how quick do we just give up our agreement and make sacrifices?
How often do we compromise on things just to be in a secure place?
Right.
Where we feel like, okay, I'm good now. Now I can trust in God again. You know what I mean? So, right.
Or you're trusting because you really want those things.
Yeah, right.
I'll trust you, but you got to give me this.
So, Joy, you're going to...
Go ahead.
She said, I caught that convo. I just mean, does that actually mean Southwest employees have better solidarity and unity and are walking out together and not workers on the other airlines?
It might.
I mean, Southwest is the only one that has mandated the vaccine so far, right?
Yeah,
as far as I know.
So it might happen on other...
But it could possibly be that, or it could... I don't know. All this could be a coincidence. I don't know. Likely not, but I think like...
It really might be weather.
Definitely not weather. We're not falling for that.
You got to understand, they're sort of a cheaper flight. So it could be, frustration by the workers that they're just
not
fed
a
up.
cheaper flight.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
But I get what you're saying.
Spirit.
I get what you're saying. It is cheaper in the sense of like you can check a bag for free. You get 2 carry. Like there's certain elements of it that are cheap that make it cheaper.
But the flight is
higher.
Right.
But it's not as cheap as Spirit. But Spirit had issues too.
Yeah,
they were having flight cancellations because of workers as well.
And there might be this thing of like, they have the new workers. And then they have the people who have been with them for a while. That's a whole different breed.
Yeah.
Because they changed their policies. We know this from just doing research and taking these flights. Where we said, we're not even looking into these companies, and we're just take a flight here, take a flight with this one. But you don't realize when you make that agreement, right? You give yourself over to their policies.
And we got a flight coming up with Southwest
So you're
next
saying,
week.
So
So
you guys
we'll
are
see
saying
how
you're
that
bringing
goes.
back the minivan.
So
I like it.
sometimes, like when
You
people
just got to
book-
get a private plane, man. Talk to Kenneth Copeland, find out how he's doing. Can we get one, brother? Like, how do we make this happen?
He said the Lord gave it to you.
but that's why, like, even in that, like, so because we've seen like the new breed of Southwest.
Yeah,
And
it's
I know-
different.
And I know, like, we fly a lot,
Yeah.
so because some people they're not gonna get what we're saying, but there's a new breed,
Yeah.
and this new breed, they on some other stuff.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure. Yeah, mom said, just think about it. Most people are taking the vax so they can feed their family. Think about the mark of the beast. People will take it to feed their families. I mean, it's very true. That's what it says. It says people will do that. Yeah, but I don't know about, like, people always want to compare everything to the mark of the beast. So I'm just like,
Yeah, I don't. I think it's just a conditioning.
yeah. Like, but that's what she said, is prepping people for that.
Yeah.
That idea.
But there's a lot of things that society has done that, you know, they scare
It's
you.
all a setup.
Yeah,
right?
they scare you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's ever been on this scale.
No, they definitely seized at this opportunity. This was like the perfect, opportunity to build back better. If you notice that phrase being thrown around by every world leader that's in the Bilderberg, that build back better phrase is everyone's talking about it in Germany, Europe, UK,
Canada.
That was Joe Biden's campaign slogan.
Sounds good, but what's the intention behind it?
Right. And what is better? Better subjective. You know what I mean? Better for who? You know what I'm saying? All right. So I wanted to move on to, we were talking about Dave Chappelle's special, came out last week after the podcast aired. A lot of controversy around this.
Well, first of all, everybody watched it?
I didn't watch it. I
it-
saw
I
clips.
did. but
Okay.
It watched me.
finish it.
Kyle watched
not
it
a
twice,
fan.
so he has a lot to say about this.
I turned it on, but
You didn't watch it because
I mean, he's cool, but
Right.
to me, like, especially now,
you
like,
used to be a Dave Chappelle fan,
Yeah.
but now it's more. It's kind of like what he talks about, his angle on things.
yeah, it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like, it's nothing I need to watch.
Right.
Like,
right.
His grounding is off.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm not saying that he's totally wrong.
Right.
I'm saying that he makes some good points.
What'd you think, Kyle? Speak on it.
I don't quite know what to think. Really, it was.
You watched it twice. You don't
I
know what to
watched it
think?
twice because it was confusing. All right, so he painted a picture of the.
Did you think it was funny?
Yes, I thought it was funny, but I was trying to figure out what was going on behind the jokes. And he says this stuff about the transgender community, and even with the comments and yes, I think that the world that we live in is a little too sensitive, and then that people are making a whole lot of noise over stuff that just should be taken as jokes. As long gone are the days of Richard Pryor and even Patrice O'Neill,
Right.
and when things could be taken more as jokes. But I don't know, there was just some kind of harsher things that I think kind of go beyond jokes.
Was it the impossible joke?
That actually made me laugh.
I mean, that joke was very on point. But no, I think
It was just confusing.
I think you got to understand where he's coming from is from the angle of, and he said it in the special. He was like, "I'm not talking about trans people. I'm talking about white people." So he's coming from the angle of like, we've been dealing with racism in this country for so long, and black people seem to keep getting jumped in line by these other causes.
Right.
When it comes to rights, when it comes to equality, when it comes to people giving a F about what's happening to people, it seems like they keep getting bumped in line for these other causes. And so he's making that distinction between, whites that are trans trying to connect to the discrimination that blacks deal with. But then when it's time to be white, they can also be that as well, and then be a part of the discrimination. Because he tells the story about the trans person that was about to call the cops on him.
Right. No, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't know if it's it's not so much of a logic point of view as more of an instinctual reaction from me hearing some of these things, laughing and then feeling guilty about my laughter.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I get it.
But I think it's possible to look at something and see the parallels of what he's talking about and kind of see, all right, I do see that.
Yeah.
You know, I do see some hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you can jump in, because someone is making a point about the guy, the quote unquote woman who had from Netflix.
Yeah.
She was a man a few years ago, and now she is a minority, and she has all the privileges that come with that.
Right.
A year ago, she wasn't.
Right.
And she could have never made this kind of comment, and now she can totally do it and threaten. You know.
Right. I think what it does is it exposes how ridiculous this whole intersectionality thing is. Like it's just these layers of who's the most victim, you know what I mean? And how can we put a hierarchy on this? And you shouldn't be allowed because you're this, but now you're this because you claim to be. And it's just, it just becomes a whole web of nonsense and chaos. And I
that's
think
what he's doing too. He's in it.
Right.
You know, what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Paul said at least he still hasn't put on a dress. That's true, but he did do that cringy ass AIDS commercial in the 80s. Do I need to play that? Do I need to play that again? Yeah.
I don't think it was. I don't think it. To me, it wasn't funny. There were some funny parts, but I think it was more of a social commentary on the parallels of circumstances. You know.
He's been doing that though. The last thing that he put out was
Sticks and Stones.
I think people. Here's the thing. Just like you guys were talking about earlier, before when you were 22, you were writing a certain type of lyric.
Yep.
You're 40-year-old men. You're not gonna write that same thing.
Right.
David's 47 years old.
Yeah.
David's gonna reflect everything that's happened to him as a 47-year-old man.
Right.
Whether you disagree or not, people have the right to grow and change.
Yeah.
He's not gonna see. He has teenage kids, so he's not gonna see the world the way he saw it in Killing Him Softly.
Yeah, Killing Him Softly was more about him proving himself as a comic.
Right.
I think Dave Chappelle has transcended that so much that now it's more about a nuanced vision on life that he's trying to explain to people, but using comedy as the tool.
Right.
Which I understand where he's coming from with that. Like, I don't agree with his angle on everything, but I agree with some of the stuff he's saying, you know, because it is true. And I think that black people do get lured into the fight for other people a lot of times, and it's on purpose. They will the powers that be that need black people to champion a cause will use them for the times that they need them, and then dismiss them when they don't need them. You know, so I think that's what he's pointing to. But I think it's like if you. But he won't call out the people he's associated with. That's true. That's true. And I think it's a trick of black people that feel the need to have their voice be heard in a way where it's like, well, if you're not going to listen to me, listen to them for us. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the trick. That's where you're getting, it's like, no, you don't need them to listen to you. First of all, like that's where the trick comes from.
That's the justice. I think we were talking about this at church, like this is where I kind of like get annoyed by Christians and where my patience is. I'm learning patience. Right. Is when they want things to be fair. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if you want that, it has to be unfair for you. Right. Because that's how it works. You think it was fair that Jesus got on the cross and died for all of our sins and took on the sin of the world and was separated?
Yeah, I think that idea, we talked about this before, like that idea that things need to be fair is a fallacy to begin with. Mm-hmm. And it's a trap that is used for everyone, because it's the ones that are always telling you should want things to be fair. They're never the ones that it's fair for. You know what I mean? So it never has to be fair for them, but they want you to think that it should be fair. There's a meme that I've seen that floats around a lot where it's some dude with a big plate of cookies, right? And he's like, there's another guy that has one cookie on his plate, and then a guy sitting across from him at the table, and he's like, be careful, that guy wants your cookie. You know what I mean? So he's like, he's pinning them against, he's the one with all the cookies, but he's making them be cautious of each other. Right, you know what I mean? Right. Yeah. And it's a very insightful meme, because it speaks to that idea where it's like the one that always wants you to care about fairness doesn't really care about fairness. Right. You know what I mean? Because he's the one that benefits from you caring.
He's trying to get you to focus on
exactly.
On something. Yeah.
But what I wanted to bring up about the special was something that I saw that was hilarious, because if everybody doesn't know, at the same time that the special came out, the Lord God Anthony Fauci had a documentary come out.
Your God.
He had a documentary come out on Disney Plus. Was it?
I think so. Yeah.
Was it Disney Plus?
Yes, dude.
Wow.
They put
Technically, it was like, what's Discovery? Is that the
Discovery through Disney, because Disney owns
Disney
Discovery
owns.
now, right? So they have like a Discovery section of Disney Plus.
Right.
Are we
So
sure
they-
it's not the National Geographic? I think that's
Maybe yes.
That's what that
you're
is.
right.
You're right.
National Geographic, yes.
because Discovery is connected to like Lifetime and
Yeah.
the Home Shop, whatever. Not Home Shop.
Well,
Hallmark.
no, I can't.
the point is, I
Jesus has
wanted
spoken.
to bring this up. So I don't know if you can. Do you know how to pull this up, Kyle?
I think I just learned it.
Okay, John
Dr.
John is still. Well, I don't know what that dude is doing. He's
You know what he's doing.
disappeared. But so people have been posting up all of the manipulation, because they have to make you think that everyone loves this guy. So you can see the IMDb rating there. Right? Do you see the IMDb rating?
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10 stars for the documentary. What is it? 3,000.
What's the red?
It basically means that no one likes it. So then we're going to go to this. Okay, so people were tweeting this right here.
And this is in their shade.
So remember Sticks and Stones. Remember the whole phenomenon about Rotten Tomatoes, how the critics review was like 10%, but the audience review was 99%. Same thing with this one, The Closer. Same thing happened. Rotten Tomatoes, 33% critic review. They hated it. He's a bigot. He's a racist. 6 people reviewed it. They all hated it. Audience review, 1,000 plus rating, 97% people loved it. So the audience is clearly not in line with the critics. But then look at the Fauci reviews. 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is that what it's called? It's called Fauci?
Yes, it's literally called Fauci.
Wow, okay.
Them fresh tomatoes right there.
91% from the critics, and then a 4% heap of garbage from the audience reviews. And then I just want to show you one more. So this was funny about Rotten Tomatoes. So at first, they wouldn't even let the audience review it for like the first 2 weeks. They wouldn't let anyone comment. They wouldn't let anyone review it.
That's sad, man.
But this is the games that they play.
Yeah.
They did the same thing to Dave Chappelle. Remember, for like the Sticks and Stones special, for the first week, no audience members could review it.
I just want to make a point real quick.
Go ahead.
See, you guys, here's the thing, right? You guys are well versed in this. You guys do this kind of research.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people are just lost in the sauce, because they don't see this.
Yeah.
So when you say stuff like this and you tell them, like, listen, there's a wool being pulled over your eyes.
Yep.
This is manipulation. They're not because they're not really researching this.
Yeah.
No one's researching 2 weeks of.
Yeah. They don't understand how wizards work. That's the problem.
That's why you got to listen to Young Lion TV.
That's why we
have
out
to
here.
talk about it.
We trying to expose the wizards, man, because that's what they do.
It's a setup.
It's all a setup, and it's used to herd you into a mentality. It's like, Fauci is beloved. Dave Chappelle's evil.
You see?
But if Dave comes out and says anything good that they want, he
would be
the
a
best.
hero. He would be a hero, and that's what they were hoping he would do as well.
Right.
Mom said California to enforce gender-neutral toy aisles in large stores.
Yeah.
Wow.
We heard about this.
What are you doing over there, Kyle?
Kyle, what is going
I'm
on?
trying to take this thing off. I don't know how to take it off.
Uh-oh.
So now we just see your live stream on the live stream.
Yeah, great. Inception going on right here. All right, I'll bring
it
up
keeps
something
on
else.
going. That's crazy.
I'll bring up something else. Okay, so let's show this real quick. I thought this was interesting. It's a teacher, and this is not even like a conservative teacher or anything. This was, again, Libs of TikTok. They always got the great stuff. So this teacher was just telling an observation that they saw in their classroom.
So a couple of my students found a flag on the counter, and one of them was like, whose Trump flag is this? And all the other students were like, who has a Trump flag? And I was like, why would someone who has this in their classroom have a Trump flag? And I look over here and I realize that they were talking about this.
Wow.
You see? You see that? So the reason why this is interesting is because, again, what we're talking about, the media, the way it shapes opinion, the way it shapes mindsets. So now young people that have been indoctrinated into a certain way of thinking, watch a certain type of media, an American flag is associated with Trump.
Yeah.
Just the flag of our country is a Trump flag.
Brainwashing at its finest.
That's what this does. You know, that's what this does. That's what people don't get. It's like, yeah, we can say, oh, that doesn't work on me. But what about your kids?
Yeah.
What about the next generation? And that's the point of it, is to have the next generation already of the mindset when they become adults and become of voting age. They already have them under the spell. So this is the agenda that we're trying to expose.
What?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'm really like confounded by what I just saw. What is the TikTok video, or what are you guys saying is the influence of these children saying that the American flag is a Trump flag? Where are they getting that information from?
Just media.
It could be TikTok. It could be media. It could be just the overall mindset that's being projected by.
Maybe they see Trump videos and they see American flags, so they just
So not only that, but CRT, all the woke talking points are that the American flag is evil, the American flag is racist, the American flag is connected to bigotry, is connected to slavery. So then you connect all that to the president that they all hate, and that's Donald Trump. You know what I mean? So it connects to them in their mind that way. You're talking about kids. You know what I mean? They put those pieces together.
But at the same time, probably people like her, like they get amazed at this, but you started that.
Right.
A lot of people, they start this stuff.
Right.
They put these little seeds and then it goes further and like, oh, wow.
Yeah, people are freaking out because a lot of these school districts are now banning the LGBTQ flag from classrooms because so many teachers, and we've played it in the past, you weren't here, but there's so many teachers that are taking down the American flag when they do the Pledge of Allegiance and putting up the LGBTQ flag or the Black Lives Matter flag, things like that, in its place because the American flag is connected to racism. So it's not something that...
Well, that's what they're
saying.
That's what
implying,
yeah, of course. I'm not saying that.
Well,
Are they allowed to do that though? The teachers?
This is the point. Not a lot of them aren't, but they're getting in trouble for it because they're telling on themselves. They're making TikTok videos about it, bragging about it.
Yeah.
I made my students do the Pledge of Allegiance to the Black Lives Matter flag, and then they get fired. You know what I mean? But so now what's happening is that a lot of these school boards are banning those flags because it's
What role are parents playing now for these kids that are learning these things?
Well, I'll tell you what's happening is that a lot of these parents are finding this out now because of things like TikTok and social media. These are things that we've always just blindly accepted. Like I send my kids to school and everything's going to be fine. You know what I mean?
Or they're having their tablets babysit.
Right.
And they're
not paying attention. They're not paying attention to what their kids are consuming. Yeah. So what's happening is now they're being made aware of these things, and now parents are showing up to these school board meetings and going off. But what is the reaction to that? Now they're trying to prosecute any parent who shows up to a school board meeting and causes a ruckus
over pledging allegiance to a flag that's not American.
Anything that constitutes you protesting what that school is doing or teaching.
So the school is reserving the right to do what they want, or
well, actually, it's the Department of Justice that is
DOJ.
Yeah,
so that's not a abuse of power. Right?
You're right. The Department of Justice is actually putting a task force together to find out who these people are showing up at these school board meetings and then investigating them.
Find out their parents.
Yeah, but they're trying to investigate these people now. But this is the difference in the justice system that we talk about, like where it's like but I'm just doing my job. Okay, but you're investigating parents who are concerned with what their kids are learning at school, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's an abuse of power.
Yeah.
They're trying to tie it to this one parent who went off because his daughter was allegedly molested or raped by a transgender. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to tie all parents are domestic terrorists,
right?
Because of his behavior,
right?
But his behavior is because his daughter was molested by a transgender student.
Yeah, that's what's so unfair is that I feel like there's no accountability in the media to like, they'll tell a part of the story, but not really, you know what I mean? Because like even the one a few months ago where the woman was complaining about the transgender man in the bathroom.
Yeah, in the wee spa.
Showing his penis. And then a little bit of research was done, and they found out that he had been arrested multiple times for flashing, for a lot of things.
Yep.
And the media doesn't cover that at all.
Yeah. Actually, the media came out and said that it was a hoax. Like, they actively reported against it and lied. Right. They told people, oh, the man exposing himself at Wee Spa is a hoax. Right-wing conspiracy from alt-right, you know.
And that's so irresponsible.
So then Antifa shows up to the Wee Spa and starts attacking all the people that were out there protesting. But they didn't cover that at all. You know,
the FBI aren't investigating them.
No,
they're worried about parents.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this happens all the time. All they have to do, they write something wrong, and all they have to do is write retraction. That's what it's called, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That nobody reads. But they still believe whatever that's put out already.
Yeah, I saw an article. I think I was about to show that to you guys too, where it was every time you click on that. I know I'm about to show that.
That's why I like James O'Keefe, because he does the Retracto Awards.
Oh yeah, the Retracto. So I didn't pull it up, but there was an article that I saw where a bunch of news outlets were misreporting that over 900,000 children had been diagnosed with COVID-19, just making up numbers. And then once they all got exposed for this, they just tweeted out the correction, like, "Oh, it's actually this number," but they didn't retract the stories at all.
It's actually 6,000.
No, it was like it was like 6,000.
It wasn't 90,000.
No, they put 900,000.
Yeah.
Like, just totally making up numbers to instill fear. You know, that's the narrative. But and this is what they do. So what they'll do is when it's exposed that they lied, they'll go back into a story that they put out a week ago and edit it because it's all online, and then put a tweet up, and that's it. And that's all you get.
Yeah.
There was an interview that Denzel Washington did like a little while back about the desire to be first.
I remember that.
And that was so insightful. Yeah, it doesn't even matter if it's true. It's just get it out there.
Yep. We'll deal with the backlash later.
Right.
We need to be the first ones that report on it. Speaking of the Wee Spa thing, this is the thing that Moon keeps reacting to, because I saw this on Twitter and I just had to.
Let me just read this real quick.
Go ahead.
Emma said, if Americans travel out and visit different countries, they will start appreciating this land. They will respect the freedom here.
It's true.
Shout out to Emma.
Emma
is from Cameroon. Yeah. So he knows what he's talking about.
Yep.
And we talk about that to him all the time. But so this is what I was talking about. I saw this on Twitter. I was like, I got to show this to these dudes. So it's a kids pole dancing class.
Wow.
And check this out. The craziness about this, though, is that they found out that I think it was the husband that is connected to the woman doing this was a sex offender.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
For children. Okay, so like this is the stuff that we're talking about. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But if you notice, like they veil it in like, oh, it's just fun. It's just for the kids to you know, just
what's it saying? Looking to combine an element of
dance and acrobatics for your child.
Dance and acrobatics.
Yeah. No. It's called stripping.
Yeah.
Right, Kyle?
Yo, don't connect me with this.
No, I was connecting you with stripping, not this.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't care what you do. Just don't. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, but people will sign their children up for that.
Right.
Because, you know, it's just the idea of like, oh, but it's just fun.
Yeah.
And they don't ever think that
it's the CRT anti-stripper.
Right.
Paul said these kids are being straight up groomed.
Yep. All right, I'm going to show this real quick. Another thing I wanted to post up. So someone posted this up on Twitter. You know how people put these collages together of news articles that are all saying the same thing? I thought this was interesting. So in all different parts of the country, you have this headline: vaccine sailing error. Parties demand transparency from the government. Vaccine errors lead to some receiving saline shots. Some people got saline shots instead of COVID shots. This was happening all over the country, where people were getting saline instead of the vaccine.
Like I would take that shot.
How does that? Right? Do I still get that? Do I still get the card? Give my card. But how does that happen simultaneously all over the country?
That's crazy.
I just thought that was interesting. I don't know
Maybe
what to
they
think about
shipped
that. I don't know what to think about that, but I thought it was interesting.
They shipped out, saline instead of.
COVID. How do you get that mixed up, though?
All right, I saw this tweet. I don't know how true this is. I didn't really look into it, but I'm just going to put it out there. This is for the conspiracy-minded people out there. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the synthetic alterations to the human DNA render a non-patentable natural substance into a commercially viable biological product that is patentable, meaning those who've taken these mRNA injections are now considered a product under international law. Now, this ties into, remember we were talking about before what's the difference between maritime law and the nautical law or whatever?
Oh, that is maritime.
Maritime law
is nautical law.
Nautical law, and then the law of the land, Commonwealth law, which are two different things. And like the way they set it up was like through the idea of having a birth certificate.
Yeah,
and
you're actually dead.
You're actually not an actual live human being.
You're lost at sea.
Right. It's like this weird. If you ever get a chance, look into maritime law and look into the fact that by law we're actually not living humans. We're actually like lost at sea, but we're properties of the state because of the way they set it up.
But didn't they introduce something like that when they introduced the Social Security system? Social
Security, birth certificates, all of that. When all that got introduced, they changed the way we are considered. Like if you look into it, it's trippy stuff. So that's why when I saw this, like it was like, oh, like it's like the next step.
The country's, I don't know how true this is, but it's like the country borrows against our something like
everyone's social security number is tied to a bank account. This is a fact. Okay, you can look it up right now, and there's money in that account. But you can't get access to that money. If you try, people figured out a way to do it and got that money, and then the IRS came after them.
Really?
Yeah. Like this is a fact. Like your social security number is tied to a bank account. So, you know, if people have the time,
they trade against it.
Yeah, if people have the time, do the research. Kyle was like,
he's doing research right now.
No, Kyle is just like, I can't handle all of this. This is too much.
They've got a lot of time on their hands, Kyle.
I'm just trying to get through school.
They were saying that those bank accounts are a federal crime if you access it.
Yeah, I did hear something about that.
Yeah, Joy said it's grooming as well. Yep, it absolutely is. But yeah, so I don't know how true this is. I didn't look into this. If you guys get a chance, check it out on your own time. But this person, I don't know who he is, the Nomad Soul, but it went like everybody was sharing this on Twitter, you know, basically saying
they are back in session.
Yeah, saying that they ruled that if you alter the DNA, you can now be patented. Your actual body becomes a product under international law. So,
which is why there's no my body, my choice with the COVID vax.
Right.
Because
so if I go to see him and drown, they'd be like, get that product.
Yeah, they were like, get him. He belongs to us. Okay. This is a funny video.
There he is.
In this next episode of what did he just say?
Lieutenant Governor Julius here, Stratton. And the Ohio, Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania. The Illinois president of the Don Harmon, State Senator Laura Murphy, State Rep Martin Moylan, and we got great labor leaders here too. Tim, where's Tim? There you go, Tim. Thank you, pal. AFL-CIO State President, and Jeff Isaacson, United Brotherhood of Carpenters. And Don Finn, IBW, and Robert Reiter, R-E-I-T-E-R, Reader. You know, if I can digress for just a second, last night I was on television. I was on the telephone. times, you know. At any rate, also we've got state leaders.
Yo.
I didn't understand a single thing he said.
But this is
It's a shame, man.
yo, like it's not even funny.
It's abuse.
It's not.
That's abuse.
It's just like
Now, just imagine what they pumped him up to get him up there.
just to have him be able to do that.
Right.
But the crazy thing to me is like, yo, this is how much of a number they did on people to think that, yeah, that's the guy we're going to vote for.
Orange man bad.
Orange man bad to the fullest. Like,
we take this.
we'll take this instead. This is better. Yeah. At least black people won't be mad at me.
They're mad at him now.
I'm saying the people, the people, mainly white people.
I saw something. I wish I should have brought it up, sent it to you, Jamie. But I saw something about leftists were basically talking about how they're in fear because Donald Trump is probably going to run again
in 2024.
He has nothing to lose because he doesn't have to get reelected.
Right.
You know, so that's a general, like,
yeah,
this is a genuine fear that we should have. Like, this is the way they're talking now.
Dude, they were talking about how he was going to nuke North Korea, like, the whole time he was president before. And all the stuff that was nonsensical. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, the media had everyone afraid.
Well, I mean, they're suffering right now. Ratings are down 40%.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible.
30%.
Terrible right now.
Yeah. His approval rating is at 38%.
38%.
So everybody knows he's not
38%.
equipped for this job.
And his approval rating has dropped dramatically among independents, among Hispanics, black voters, and I think it was Asians.
Only person happy is Kamala. She's like, when we get it.
Speaking of Kamala,
but we're not even a year in.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Kamala.
Yo, speaking of Kamala and speaking of the wizardry and manipulation of the media, did y'all see that video she did for NASA?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so I'm going to play a little bit of it just because it's super cringy. First of all, Kamala has done nothing, zero work.
Zero.
But
She's been hiding.
But
She's the border czar, man.
But they just put out this.
Exactly, she's been doing nothing.
They just put out this video the other day of her interacting with some kids about space exploration. And then it went viral, of course, because of how like just ridiculously cringy she is the whole time. Because she's talking to like teenage kids like they're 5 years old. But let's just watch.
What does she know about space?
Man,
I don't know.
high as a kite.
Excited about, but the other, you guys are gonna see. You're gonna literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes. Oh my goodness! With your own eyes, I'm telling you, it is gonna be unbelievable. So that's one of the things we can do here too, which makes it one of the things I'm most excited about. But the other, you guys are gonna.
Okay, that's the video. So you see that, right? And the kids are like, "Oh wow, it's so exciting." So then yesterday revealed children in NASA space video with Kamala Harris are actors and had to audition for the part. This was all over the news yesterday.
How real is that?
That's horrible.
Wait, was that the entirety of the video?
No, there was more to it, but that was just one of the clips that was going around.
Okay.
But there was other parts where she was just like talking to them like they're children. Like it was very cringy. But I just wanted to
really see.
The only reason why I just wanted to play that so that I could get to this part where they're staging videos with actors to give the illusion like she's doing stuff.
What was the message they were trying to convey besides just space exploration and moons?
They were trying to promote the observatory in DC or whatever it is, where they go and look at the moon and stuff like that. So they were using her to promote that.
And how do they get her ratings up?
Right. Yeah, right. How do we make her likable? Show her with a bunch of kids that are very interested in what she's saying. We can't make that happen in real life.
And
so
the name of the company who got hired is like something crazy. Like,
was it?
Yeah.
Like what?
I gotta look it up.
Luciferian.
No, it's something like build my reputation or something. Something obvious.
So yeah, Paul said GMO humans when we were talking about
GMO humans, man.
And Lena said he's malfunctioning talking about Biden. And Joy just said, "No, I can't see this again."
She got to be talking. What was she talking about? Joe Biden or Kamala? Yeah. All right, so this other thing I thought was pretty funny because you guys know Ben and Jerry from the ice cream.
Yeah.
Like they're huge socialists. They're always making these leftist ideas. Really? Yeah, definitely.
They pulled out of Israel, right?
Yeah.
Selling ice cream in Israel.
I said I don't eat that ice cream.
I thought he was gonna say I'll never eat that again.
Yeah, but they pulled out of Israel because they didn't agree with certain policies. Even though they're Jews. But so
they're Jews?
So let's watch this.
Just stop sales completely.
Well, I disagree with the U.S. policy. We couldn't stop selling in the U.S. I think it's fine to be involved with a country, to be a citizen of a country, and to protest some of the country's actions. And that's essentially what we're doing in terms of Israel. We hugely support Israel's right to exist, but we are against a particular policy.
Watch
you guys
what
are
she
big
hits him
proponents
with
of
right
voting rights. Why do you still sell ice cream in Georgia? Texas, abortion bans. Why are you still selling there?
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting question
because we want money.
If I know she is,
what that would accomplish. We're working on those issues of voting rights and. I don't know. I think you ask a really good question, and I think
you stumped, bro.
To sit down.
Yeah,
whoever she is.
I thought that was hilarious. This was like, yo, she got him.
But
she got him.
It's so basic. Like it's not even. That's not deep journalism. You know what I mean?
But think about what journalists actually do any of that
anymore.
Yeah. That goes back to what I was saying earlier about. I think the reason we see a lot of people willing to go along with the narrative is because we're all trapped in this system of lifestyle, of the car, the house. And once we get those positions, it's hard for us to turn our backs on the evil that we see because we're so comfortable.
Yeah.
So a lot of journalism, and there's still some good journalists out there, they really won't ask those hard questions because you're waiting for that anchor call. You're waiting for that position.
They know that they're not going to get the desk job at whatever news outlet because they push too hard against somebody that's a friend of the CEO of CNN. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how.
What makes you great? Like, just take sports. How do you get better at sports? You need a good challenge.
Yeah.
Right. The reason why he said that's a good question when it's not is because he never gets challenged.
Right.
So, it's a good question. Dude, are you serious? Like, this is basic stuff. You know what I mean?
And the part we're missing, we can't see, is when the cameras are turned off.
Yeah.
To see how he really reacts.
Right.
He probably didn't even
like
talk to
Hillary after what's his name? Matt Lauer asked her that question about the emails. Remember?
Yep.
I want his head on a platter. I want him fired.
Can I find that video?
Huh?
Where's that video?
She's back in the news.
Where's that video?
Yeah, the Hillary Clinton video.
Oh, you can't find it. That was the staff members told on her, basically. That after that interview, she went crazy.
And you need to be careful searching Hillary Clinton.
And she specifically said, if this gets Trump elected, we'll all be hanging from nooses. Ooh. That's what she said, Joe. Well, that's what they claim she said. Allegedly. But no, so yeah, people don't look at the fact that, like, of course, yeah, maybe it was easy for them to pull out of Israel because how many people in Israel really buy Ben and Jerry's? You know what I mean?
Right.
But
they probably got their own.
You talk about Texas and Atlanta.
I didn't realize that the owner of Ben and Jerry's looks like Darth Sidious.
He does.
I thought it was Larry David.
Yeah, I thought it was Larry David too.
Yeah, he's a combination.
That would be Larry David too in the interview, right? That's a good question.
Bernie Sanders.
Right. Then he comes out with a ice cream called Abortion Ban.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think it's easy for.
There's no cherries in that one.
Yeah.
You know what?
I think it's easy for, like you said, like we don't know So it's easy for them to seem like they're virtuous. But we don't know. You're correct. The sales could be tanking. We don't know. They're just using it as opportunity.
They use that as a PR stuff. It's just like all these companies that every time Pride Month comes around, they throw a couple flags on their stuff, and it's like, see, this is how much we care. It's like it didn't cost you really anything. Like you don't really care.
I don't think people pay attention to that though. Like, are people really vested in these things, or are they, virtual signaling? They're just playing along.
That's
with
what they're doing.
Get, clout chasing, or whatever.
That's what they're doing.
But it does like affect your psyche. Like if you like deep down inside have an issue, and somebody acknowledges that issue, even if they're doing it in a superficial way, people will still take it. You know what I mean? A lot of times people will just take it like, oh yeah, we got that.
Yeah.
You
can see when he was asked that question, he's just like, I don't know. Because you said nobody's probably ever challenged
First
him.
of all, he's like, you bitch.
No, that's after the camera.
I'll have your head for this.
Listen, when that
you
camera
little
was turned
happy,
off,
what are you?
Banned for life. I'm banning it from Israel and you.
You'll never buy Ben and Jerry's.
By the way, the company that produced the Kamala Harris video, it's called Sinking Ship Entertainment.
What?
Wow.
Wow.
We should know
it's
this
very
by
fitting.
now, though.
That's very fitting. Very fitting.
We should know about the optics of politics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think certain people do.
I think a lot of people are oblivious to it. They really just follow whatever Don Lemon tells them,
God, what was he doing?
And just like there's a lot of people that follow whatever Sean Hannity tells them. It is what it is. Jimmy Kimmel, yeah. Okay, so on a lighter note, I saw this video. I thought it was freaking amazing, so I had to play it for you guys because this is like a testament of the beauty of God's creation. So this is a Japanese puffer fish, right? Hey, Kyle, don't laugh already. It's not funny. This is beautiful. So just watch this. This is amazing.
Of mathematical perfection.
I know you're into stuff like this.
I love. I'm already tuned in.
He plows the sand, breaking it up into the finest of particles. These shells aren't just rubbish to be removed. He uses them to decorate the ridges of his construction. He can't rest for more than a moment, but must work 24 hours a day for a week, or the current will destroy his creation.
He works 24 hours a day for a week creating an art piece, dude, in the sand. Like, this is what this fish is doing right now.
For what purpose?
Just because it's beautiful. Like, yo, it's great. Like, hold on, I'm just going to fast forward so we have to watch the whole thing. But look at this.
What?
Wow.
Does an animal construct something as complex and perfect as this?
That is
Look
beautiful,
at that,
yo.
That's crazy.
He's a construction fish.
If this doesn't get him noticed, nothing will.
So he does it to get the women.
Even down there.
He does it to get the women.
There's always a purpose.
That's just how bad you want it album.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, it had to be.
You beat me to it.
He's like, girl.
Girl, you're fine. Lay it down.
He's like, don't you see all this stuff I built, girl?
Look at these ridges.
Yo, look at these. You see how I put them shells right around the edges, girl?
He said, listen
This
here,
could all
listen
be
here,
yours.
baby girl.
Listen here, baby girl. No, but
Come on into my circle.
there's so many things that you don't realize
That's
exist
beautiful,
in
though.
nature.
That's crazy.
But I just thought that was pretty
beautiful.
dope.
That is.
But it always has a purpose.
Yeah, it does. I thought it didn't have a purpose. I didn't watch all the way to the end when he said it's going to get him noticed.
So does this mean that the earth is flat? Is what you
Speaking of that, Kyrie Irvin, that's how he became on he became a target for the media, because he's always kind of been that dude that pushed back against stuff. And that was one of the times when I was like, okay, this guy's, because he started talking about flat Earth. You know what I mean? Which is like, of course, It's just interesting when you see someone even looking into something outside of the norm. You know what I mean? I think that there's something to be said about.
Or at least an appreciation for his bravery.
Right? Exactly. His bravery to talk about it and even look into it, because some people are so closed-minded that they will be like, "What the heck?" You know what I mean? But to be like, "Why are they saying why is that a thing?" And then look into it and be like, "Oh, okay."
Paul said he should be on Cribs.
All right, check this out, guys. This is a video from 2017. Dr. Fauci and some NIH scientists discuss
and Colonel Sanders
needing a disruptive event like a flu-like virus out of China in order to justify bypassing decades of approval for new vaccine technology they want approved. Mind-blown emoji. This is from 2017.
I mean, obviously, we can't just turn off the spigot on the system we have and then say, hey, everyone in the world should get this new vaccine we haven't given to anyone yet. But there must be some way that we grow vaccines mostly in eggs, the way we did in 1947.
In order to make
that guy seems totally normal.
From getting out of the tried and true egg growing, which we know gives us results that can be beneficial. I mean, we've done well with that, to something that has to be much better. You have to prove that this works, and then you've got to go through all of the clinical trials, phase 1s, phase 2s, phase 3, and then show that this particular product is going to be good over a period of years.
And who wants to do all that when we can just make everyone afraid and force them to take it?
That alone, if it works perfectly, is going to take a decade.
There might be a need or even an urgent call for an entity of excitement out there that's completely disruptive, that's not beholden to bureaucratic strings and processes.
So we really do have a problem of how the world perceives influenza, and it's going to be very difficult to change that unless you do it from within and say, I don't care what your perception is, we're going to address the problem in a disruptive way and in an iterative way, because you do need both.
But it is not too crazy to think that an outbreak of a novel avian virus could occur in China somewhere. We could get the RNA sequence from that, beam it to a number of regional centers, if not local, if not even in your home at some point, and print those vaccines on a patch and self-administer.
This is in 2017, guys, just so you know. Yeah. And if anyone else wants to look up Event 201, we talked about that on out here in the past. That was in 2019 when they did Event 201, which was about how they would address a global pandemic, which literally 2 months later we got COVID. So
and keep in mind, Fauci said that he's okay with the research if it causes a pandemic.
Right. Yeah, which is the gain of function research you're talking about that we now know for sure was being funded and covered up by the U.S.
By him.
By him, specifically. Okay, so we got that out the way. One more video, then we'll wrap it up, guys. Jake has been telling us about the movie that you watched.
Yeah.
Talk about
Lansky?
it a little bit. Yeah, Lansky.
Oh, that's what you're going to show?
Yeah, I'm going to show the clip you gave me.
Okay. Yeah, I recommend everybody to watch this. Guys, watch this. We're going to talk about it probably next week.
Yeah. This is the teaser for it.
This is the teaser. And I can go into a little bit of why I wanted to show this. But
so we should all watch this before next week so we can have a take.
Yeah. But I wanted to go into, like, next week we're going to talk about the 20s a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, the similarities between these 20s, what's going on.
They were just coming out of a pandemic.
Right.
Exactly.
But yeah, this is Meyer Lansky, and he, if you don't know, he was probably like the guy of all mobsters, like the mastermind of it all. You know, and he was a Jewish it's funny, he's Jewish, right? And I'm not saying that in a conspiratorial way, just for anybody to choose. No, that's not what the reason.
You're
why
saying
I'm
it because we think of mobsters as Italian guys,
right?
Right.
But I'm saying it because of another reason too. But I'll leave that
for
next week.
Okay.
But yeah. So he was probably the richest mobster ever to do it, and there was a lot that goes into it.
You were saying that he was involved in the whole setting up Havana as like.
Yeah, he was involved in Cuba. He was involved in Israel,
right.
He gave a lot of money to that.
Israel becoming a nation state.
Becoming a nation.
Right.
He was involved in Vegas, the Flamingo. He was involved in casinos in, I think, Atlantic City, a little bit of Atlantic City, and even in like Lebanon and Morocco. So
wow,
yeah.
So the movie just goes into like why he did what he did.
Where's this on? What platform?
Amazon. I saw it on Amazon Prime. But
so talk about what is happening in this clip that we're about to see.
So in this, he's got a guy who's gonna write a story, which he ended up writing a story. But the guy got caught up with the FBI, so he's trying to get information from him. And so this part, he basically, Meyer Lansky is the older guy, and he's basically like telling him in a roundabout way, like, I know what you're doing.
Oh, okay. You know? Got it.
When you lose your money, you lose nothing. When you lose your health, you lose something. When you lose your character, you lose everything. Remember that.
Or that's the Avatar dude, Sam.
Yeah.
Worthington.
So I thought that was profound.
Right.
If you want to eat healthy.
Oops.
You know, what he said, but it's all about perspective, you know. Character is a big thing, but character is connected to structure, right? And so he said if you lose your character, you lose everything. But character is connected to what's good. And what's good is based off of your perspective. So he's saying that based off of how he views character. Right. And this is a gangster who's killed, or at least not killed himself, but had
multiple people killed.
Thousands, probably thousands of people killed. Like this dude was the one who Murder Inc. came from this guy, right? Murder Inc. Like this is a business of killing people.
It's like Scarface with the, all I have is my word and my balls.
Right. But you build a certain character through this all. And there's more that he says and how he grows everything. But I just want to say it's interesting because character is connected to structure, right? And structure is connected to a temple, right? And a temple is where you sacrifice. So again, you're sacrificing to the temple where you see the structure of good, right? The image,
right?
And we're supposed to be temples, right? So we're supposed to be carrying the image of God, the character of God, the structure of God, and giving that to other people. Jesus was a temple. He said, that his temple would be destroyed and be raised up. So he's that image. And so what are you? It's kind of like a question. Where are you sacrificing? What temple are you going to? And you think about it like, what do you look up to? Who are the people that you think are good?
Right.
And in order to receive the wisdom that they have, what are you sacrificing? You get what I'm saying? What are you giving up of yourself? And what's your intention in doing it?
Right.
These are all things that we have to ask ourselves.
Right.
Because there was one thing he said to his son. I'll bring that up. Because his son was like, yeah, Dad, I want to be... His son was crippled. He said, I want to be like you. I want to be able to buy fur coats. And he said, you don't want to be nothing like me. So even in that, he knew what he did wasn't good. He didn't want his son to have anything to do with how he did it. Now, he believed that what he accomplished was good, but not how he accomplished
how
it.
he did it, right?
Right. So he still had integrity in his mind in that, what he accomplished. So I think it's interesting because it's like, I feel like we're coming out of that century of people doing it their own way. I did it my way.
Right.
You know what I mean? That mentality.
The 20th century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're coming into the 21st century.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the 21st century.
Paul said, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. All right. Anything else anybody want to touch on before we get out of here?
My
friend. A lot of things tonight. There's a lot going on. Anything else? Anything else? Everybody good? All right, cool. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate everybody who's been with us chiming in the whole time. We love you guys. Don't forget to share the video, hit the like button, all that stuff. If you're on YouTube, hit that notification bell, hit that like button. Help us out with this algorithm because we're pretty much shadow banned on everything. But, you know, we still do this because we feel like it's important. We feel like it's we're supposed to. And we enjoy it. We like talking to each other about all this craziness. And I like when Moan's not cheating, looking at my screen. I
can't help.
I like
right
shocking
there.
y'all with all this stuff I see on.
I gotta stop though.
But you know, it's important to have these conversations to bring up this stuff that a lot of people don't normally see. Like James was saying, like everybody doesn't do this type of research. Everybody doesn't look into things on these levels. So, you know, that's why we do this, because if it's something that can help you, can benefit you, you know, that's all good.
And you have a better understanding of where we're going, where we're heading to.
Exactly. And you don't fall for all the tricks that are being put in front of us. All of these little traps, all these tricks to hurt us into a mindset. You don't fall for
My
those things.
people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
Boom.
Yes. If anything.
And vision.
If anything, like you see how much is going on, you can't possibly not be deceived by everything.
Right.
And so my point is that you're going to have to trust God.
Yeah.
Right? That's the safe place. Like
Yep.
everybody talking about safe places. Your safe place is in Him.
Safe space.
Safe space, safe place, whatever. But it's learning to trust Him in the anxiety. Right. Don't be anxious about anything.
Yeah, and I think that's key, because I know for a lot of people, and maybe this is true for y'all too, like when you start finding out a lot of this stuff, and Kyle has mentioned this to us before, it's like, how are you guys not walking around scared? You know,
that is the one quote.
Yeah. It is true.
Well, but no, that's real talk, because I'm telling you, like a lot of people, when they do start really looking into things, when they do get exposed to a lot of the things that they kind of had a blind eye to, you do get this sense of anxiety. You do get this sense of like, all right, well, what now? Everything is
a sense of helplessness too.
Yeah.
You feel like this thing is. What could I do?
Right.
Well,
I wish you didn't tell me.
Right.
That's the Jack Nicholson quote. You know, you can't handle the truth.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, can you handle the
That's
truth?
what he.
Sometimes
Yeah, because
and it's not. I don't think it's meant to make you panic, but it's meant to make you aware and be prepared. And like you said, trust in God.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
If you panic, then you know
People rather eat their steak and potato though.
That's right. That's the Matrix reference, right?
Yeah.
Like, put me back in the Matrix, man. Just make sure I get, you know, I'm rich and I enjoy my life, and I don't want to know about any of this. Because we know people like that too. There's like, you know, we try to tell them stuff and it's like, I don't even want to know. Don't tell me.
Right.
I'm happy with just being oblivious. You know what I mean? I like living my life every day. But
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata, man. Lion King, another great movie. Yeah, much love, Lena. She said much love to you guys. So listen, don't forget, support. If you want to support us, you want to become a Patreon member, you want to sign up for this Young Lion Pride that we are developing here, that we're building, that we're creating, where we're just trying to build this community of like-minded people that just have a thirst for knowledge, a thirst for God, want to build communities and lifestyles together. You can check it out right there, patreon.com/youngliontv. Sign up to become a member. There's going to be a lot of content on there. And also, it just, you know, supporting something that you don't want to see go away is always a good thing. you know, it benefits you. It benefits you in the long run. And you know, everything that we're doing here is because we're being led to, and everything that you guys support literally goes back into it. You know, we're not over here making a bunch of money from this. So
we're learning.
Yeah.
What does it say about the Young Lions? They suffer
lack.
As you were saying that, it just reminded me of us being in the malls
talking
CDs.
about the CDs. Yeah. See, girl, you got to support something. You got to be
support something positive.
Yeah. But for real,
I enjoy it.
Seriously, you gotta support things that you think are beneficial for you and for others. So if you want to support, you can go to patreon.com/youngliontv. Also, Cash App. You can hit us on the Cash App if you just want to throw a donation. That's cool too. It's just Young Lion TV on Cash App. Hit us up on there. Also, don't forget Jatan.com for music and merch. We got a lot of new music coming out soon. You can hit up James on Mr. Build Right. On Facebook, if you want to, check out his work and also set up a consultation. You know, the brother's busy, but you know, it's worth it.
I'll get to you.
He'll get to you. It's worth it. Also, Kyle got some music coming out. He's also going to be on. When is Tri Jam coming back?
I want to say that Tri Jam is coming back next month.
Okay.
We're still working some things out.
Okay.
I don't know how many of your audience members are actually like privy to what the show really is and who's involved and stuff, but we have recently a member leave, so we're kind of working out a new plan with that and figure out a Rolodex of people who are going to come in until we figure out with someone more permanent. So
nice. There it is. John's quick with it. See?
Thank you.
Boom. There it is.
That's my page.
Yeah. But yeah, we appreciate you guys for helping out this evening, John. Thank you very much, brother. You didn't say much tonight, but you know,
because he was upstairs.
You said a
Leave
lot.
this out.
You said a lot from the upstairs. We heard you.
You guys always putting somebody on.
Michelle, what's up? Michelle said, "Hey guys, love ya." But again, we love you guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you guys next week. We're out.
Peace.
Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has